Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for being here. So the reveals are flying left and right. It appears Warner Brothers Games Montreal, and whoever is doing the marketing, the creative direction in terms of unveiling Gotham Knights is not playing around anymore. And it's a good thing. For the longest time, the fans have been waiting, and I think everything really will culminate with this DC Fandom event if they would open the doors for pre-orders and a release date. Or let me put it this way, a release date and then the opportunity for pre-orders. I think we need to get the priorities right in this sense. But the newspaper article that was actually revealed is actually a good source for discussion. I had actually highlighted it in a different video, and then when I wanted to start, my breakdown, they revealed the little footage of Batgirl running away from the Court of Owls. That on its own was just a huge discussion, just out there. And if you go on the Gotham Knights Discord server, a lot of people are talking about it. We're having really cool discussions out there, and it's really fun. But today, I wanted to look at that newspaper article again, and I wanted to talk about two things. One, I'm just going to mention briefly. The other one, we're going to delve in, and I think it's very important. I know there are many things that were discovered in this newspaper page that was crumbled up, it was burned, and had a little blood on it. And I think you can pretty much just go and hypothesize over and over again, but you really want to go with what's as concrete as you can see. So the very first thing was this article was written by Vicky Vale. Now, the spelling for Vicky Vale, instead of Vicki, which is the way that Victoria Vale has been spelled in a lot of the other Batman, I would say documentation or even comics or maybe even games, is kind of, different from the way Vicky is spelled in this article. Vicky is spelled Vicky. Now, it doesn't really matter. Her name is Victoria Vale, so I don't think it really is a big deal. But some people are saying perhaps it may be leaning towards the fact that that article may be fake or fabricated. Perhaps it may be a step that Batman has taken to cover his tracks, and he's not really dead. All right, we get it. Batman is not really dead. I mean, that's what many of us think anyways. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. The second thing that we need to delve into is, if you look at this particular newspaper article, there's a small ad talking about somebody that they need, to work in that animal shelter. And, there's a mention of the love of cats. And this already clues us into Catwoman. For the longest time, it was kind of a guessing game. Is Catwoman going to be in this particular comic? And nobody really was talking about it anyways. It was just out there like a guess. But I remember mentioning in some of my older videos saying it would be really nice if we had some other friends of the family create a different dynamic. And I thought Catwoman was the best candidate for that. And now I think what we've seen is Catwoman will more than likely be making an appearance in this Gotham Knights game. I don't know why I said Arkham Knights. Now, here's the thing. With this, I think this is now confirmed a lot more that Gotham Knights is being taken from the 52 comic series with Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. These, gentlemen have basically done the work for the 52 comics in terms of rebooting it, rewriting, some of the stories in terms of kind of like creating what Court of Owls is, but also making it fit into the entire Batman universe. And if you really want to dig in deep and you really want to find out much of what's going on, I think right now the 52 comic series make up a huge portion of what the Gotham Knights game is. It's that simple. Now, I'm not saying that 52 comics are the only basis, for crying out loud. We've seen that there are other Batman comics like Nightfall and some others that have some characters that were actually taken from there, like Renee Montoya, who's the police officer that's talking to Batgirl in that reveal clip. And so you can kind of look there as well to kind of see if you get some correlation as to what the storyline may bring. But we know the Court of Owls are the major villain group, so 52 is where it leans to. Now, if you really wanted to ask me, so which 52 comic series is the comic series to take a look at very closely, I would say that there are actually two. There is one called Batman Night of Owls, which is a release that was done that does have some stories and talks about a lot of different things. I think it's about almost 300 or so pages, if not more. And you can go ahead and take a look at that particular title. But if you have not seen the Batman 52 Court of Owls, if you've not read the Batman 52 Court of Owls saga, I would recommend that you actually go and read that saga itself. That one really, gives you a whole lot of background background information. It's quite bulky and has a lot of details and information as well that will kind of give you an idea as to somewhere where this story arc that Warner Brothers Games Montreal is going. Another thing too is Catwoman has always been a very huge part of Batman's story. This is not something that a lot of people talk about. You can mention, say, the Bat family, the Bat kids, Batgirl, Robin. You can mention Red Hood. You can mention Nightwing. But if you want to really kind of say, what is Batman's makeup about? What is his psyche? What are his, most inner circles? You really have to look at people like Alfred and Selina Kyle. They're just there. She's like an anti-hero, so she does her own craziness. And from time to time, she'll work together with Batman. And even they've both had, a personal relationship, or different times, they've depicted personal relationships of them. So she is a very important character. And for the longest time, I wondered if these writers are actually kind of being serious. I think Selina Kyle will probably make an appearance of some sort in this game. Now, here's the reality. She may not make the kind of appearance that she made in, say, Arkham Knight or even Arkham City, but it would be a pleasant surprise if she did. I mean, if you had the 4 Knights and you had Batman and Selina Kyle as playable characters, I think it will really make a very, very big difference in the game as a whole. It will bring a lot more personality. She really does bring a huge dynamic that I feel really can work in terms of the storytelling. And even when you look at the 52 comics, she also has her own 52 comics lines as well, where she has a lot of encounters with Batman. And I think perhaps those things can be selling points. I think Batman, as a character, is probably going to be an Act 3 character in Gotham Knights. I think Act 1 and Act 2 are basically there to allow for the discovery of the villain group, for the, discovery of self in terms of the Knights. But then Act 3, in my mind, is going to be a Batman act. I don't think Batman is gone. I think there is a grand reveal, some kind of a crescendo that the developers have in place to, reveal out there. But basically, these are my preliminary thoughts in terms of deep diving into this magazine article. There are other things, other possible villain groups, and I want to take time to just walk through them little by little. And I'm kind of delaying to installing, honestly, because the DC Fandom event is just here in a few days, and once they reveal more, I think it will bring some clarity and we can tie some of the the connections together and be more accurate in that front. But for now, you just really want to be very careful, because if you go ahead and hypothesize something too broad, you'll more than likely miss the mark. And why hypothesize on that broad sense or using broad strokes when here, God willing, nothing happens, they don't go postpone it. We're going to see what exactly these folks are talking about. But that's it for me. I want to hear your thoughts about Catwoman specifically, if you can, or maybe any other revelations you found on that newspaper that you thought was interesting. Talk to me in the comment section, and hopefully we'll see you in another video. Thank you very much for listening. Peace out.